Numerous meters, no shed. How's this work?
How was that possible?
Yeah, very odd. So obviously, my bike runs. Okay. He's like, Auntie, double the price of that. No, Auntie, is not double the price, is it? Let's work on this. And then we looked at flooring, and he's like, oh, I have rubbish flooring, or I have this 40 centimetre stunning ply from Canada. Actually, it's Canadian. I'm like, right, okay. Yeah, so it's a stunning ply. Anyway, pulls it all together, pulls out an absolute random. I mean, I literally looking through his figures, I'm like, you are just sizing me up. If I'd sent one of my boys down, I would be getting a bigger discount than this. So basically, the whole shebang was arranged, but he didn't really have a good option for what to clad it with.
Oh.
So the traditional tongue and groove that I was looking for doesn't seem to be available here whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah.
That's odd.
So I decided, as every bloke would do, that we'll have a two-phase project.
Oh.
So I'll get the thing up first, and then I will work out what I'm going to clad it with afterwards. Okay.
That's Dangerland.
Thank you. I'm wild and crazy these days, James.
You're living on the highway to the danger zone. I'm hearing the Top Gun theme in my head.
Oh, it is. I've got all that planes overhead, all of it. Well, that one plane now from Emirates. Yeah.
The one thing.
So basically, we got through Christmas and New Year, and I actually did quite a good Christmas and New Year. I hit it very hard.
Okay.
So I was then thinking, post New Year, now is the time. And then we got this random phone call from my father-in-law saying, I'm in town. And you tell us now what, you've already landed? Yeah, I landed last night. But we were only having a conversation last week about how it would be really nice at some point in the next few months if he came out. Yeah, well, a business trip, it all just came up. Oh, really, Warren? That's what happened, was it? Okay. So, where are you? Well, I'm staying here in Burnaby for 3 weeks.
3 weeks? What kind of business trip is this?
You didn't think to tell me beforehand. Anyway, so a couple of days later, I pick him up and I suddenly had a bit of a plan. Because if you remember the old tree house,
yes,
I started off with father-in-law and then finished with father.
Yeah.
So I thought, I know, because father-in-law is an engineer and a very capable engineer at that.
Go. But is he really pedantic and really finite on, because you were saying that your dad...
That's
like
really on the nail. No.
He's a little bit more...
Yeah, he's
giving.
a little bit more forgiving in that way. Yeah.
And he moves on very quickly.
Moving on. So we basically, it worked.
But it's 3 weeks in Burnaby.
You don't even look for any logic here.
Well, Burnaby.
Yeah, no, James, we were moving on. It's for the best, without a doubt.
I'm still stuck on 3 weeks in Burnaby.
I know. You then ask the question and you end up on this roundabout journey and you get to the end of it and you go, I have no knowledge about what the answer to my question was. But we just have got to the stage of acceptance.
Okay.
Yeah? So he turned up and he was brilliant. We had an absolute brilliant time initially.
So I want to back up for a second. So you bought the kit.
Yeah.
What came with the kit? The instructions?
Instructions and hinges, or the mounting brackets.
Okay, all those brackets I see in your photo, which are essentially the framing brackets, the framing anchors, and they're at the right angle for the roofing.
Exactly.
And then you've got the pitch of the roof is guaranteed. And then what do we call the top? Is it called the pitch of the roof? What's the
pitch beam.
So then you've got the pitch beam. Everything is there. So.
No. So it's none of the wood.
No, none of the wood, but just all the connectors. So if you've got the wood.
Points. Exactly.
And it tells you what size of wood you need to get for it?
Yes, all of that's there, without a doubt. None of the screws. Now,
so none of the fast. Oh, that's
turns out that for my last project, I had a couple of kilos of screws left, as I'm sure everybody else does. So we had enough. They were too long, but it's got to be better if it's longer, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So we managed to get the whole of the base. When he was there, I did the whole of the base area, the main uprights as well, and then all of a sudden one day, he said, "Oh, I've got a business meeting," and off we delivered him. And anyway, he's due back in a couple of days. But he is a force of nature, bless it. And so I kind of carried on from there myself with finishing up the rest of the barn and getting everything.
So where are you at right now?
So I finished that. I haven't done I've still got to do just the front and rear structures for the doors.
Okay. But are there any walls up, or is it just?
No, because I don't have the wood yet.
Okay.
Now, I think I came up with yesterday what I'm actually going to do. Okay. So I'm not going to do what is prescribed in the plan, which is to get basically a marine grade MDF and shove that.
Get some of that fine Canadian plywood. That'd be good.
No, I'd be bankrupt. So instead, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plank it. I'm going to vertical plank it. Now, in the UK, traditionally...
Like with that white wood, the stuff that the guy doesn't want to sell you?
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit of a moment here. Because basically, I genuinely think I could put my car on top of what I've created. It is that over-engineered as it sits. It is really ridiculously strong. And also, when I looked into, as I'm sure everybody else does, the various methods of cladding for sheds, everything came as either kind of an overlap or a thin end or a tongue and groove and this kind of style of thing, none of which is available here. But then with the traditional overlap, like a horizontal overlap, it just looks a little bit too British. And when you've got a Dutch barn design, I'm kind of thinking I need to go a little bit more
Dutch?
Well, it is. Officially, that roof is called a Dutch barn, but it's more prevalent, I guess, in Northern America. Is that correct?
North America? Yeah, quite a few
that kind of style, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a few barns.
Yeah, cool. Right.
And that would be obviously why...
New England and all that, traditionally, the known location for them. I'm sure we've seen that.
That's a whole other type of New England breezeway architecture. It could be. I mean, that part of North America between the U.S. and Canada...
Where are all those red barns? You know when you see the red barns and the barn stormers and all that kind of...
That's around where I live.
Oh, is it? Cool. All right. So, I'm not going red, by the way, but anyway.
It's got to be red. It's like red or gray. That's the only colors I've ever seen.
I've got to go grey.
I've seen lots of gray.
I might just go with like some kind of stain. You know?
Oh, that could be nice.
Maybe like a blue stain.
But doesn't that? So what are you putting on the sides now? I'm confused.
So what I'm thinking is,
and I'm confused why you wouldn't have planned this earlier. But that's just me.
Well, because I like the idea of a two-stage process, and I'm standing outside at the moment quite frequently, looking and gazing at it and thinking.
You're getting inspired.
No, I'm just enjoying it. It's great. So I'm thinking like quite wide. So I'm thinking probably 15 centi planks vertically down there.
Vertically?
Yeah, not horizontal, because then you end up with the overlap.
Right.
Which the overlap, if you imagine an overlap, if he's right and it's going to boomerang, as soon as the overlap boomerangs, I've ended up with all sorts of problems there. Yeah. So I'm thinking vertical, and I might even put like a thin 9mm MDF or something over it first, so that I've got airtight before I go vertical. Ooh, that's where I'm going at the moment.
Vertical, I like that, because with old barns now, that's the big rage. I don't know if it's still the big rage, but it was the big rage 20 years ago. When people were taking down those old barns, you get barn boards, and so you create your man cave with these barn boards put up on the wall, and so I totally get what you're saying.
Well, I'm also thinking if I can get Mr. Abu Saeed to sort out the just sawn. I don't want it plain. I want it just sawn. You know, really quite rough in terms of finish. It could work quite nicely with a trim piece on the front, and jobs are good. So this is the logic. Father-in-law will no doubt arrive and go, "You ain't doing that." No. This is how we're doing it. Oh God, you always come back at these moments, don't you? So, but we'll see how we go. So that is the plan there.
What's the deadline for this?
The deadline for that is 2023. But the other interesting thing is, I am now seriously considering, having done this once, I'm considering actually finishing it and selling it.
Huh?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it, James, that now that I've done it once and I've realised how the kit works, I've worked out I can maximise my space a lot better by just customising a few minor bits. I can end up with one that actually uses the whole space rather than the size, which is, currently it's 8 foot by 7 foot, which is not massive. And Natalie's one comment, which came out, oh my word, you're so capable. The one comment was, it's a bit small, isn't it? Just
no man wants to hear those words.
For 2 days solid. And that's all you can come out with. So actually after that, she said, well, it is very strong. Yeah, there you go. You haven't retrieved it, but at least we're going in the right direction.
Because I was instantly thinking, and as you're always thinking about business opportunities and things, that there's a market for not those, as we said, the plastic, the aluminum, the ugly sheds, and there are different products available, but something that is customizable, that is, and you know, I might want one of these sheds, right? But do I want to go meet Mr. Abu Saeed? Do I want to go find the hardware? Do I need to go get the 4 kgs of fasteners and the siding? But you've already gone through it all, so you can say, okay, I need another one. These are specifications, and I'm going to train 2 guys on how to put these things up, and then you know, half a day you've got yourself the beautiful shed.
I have been thinking along those lines, but there is a big problem, which is currently it's the most expensive shed the world's ever seen. So it's going to need a bit of cost reduction, which is why actually I want to see what happens with this one if I go whitewood on the outside of it. And
sounds dangerous, the whitewood though, because he even said it's going to be like a boomerang.
If I go Meranti, I mean, literally, to give you an idea, just the wood before anything else is taken in, we're way over 3,000 dirhams.
Yeah, but it's going to be a thing of art when you look at it.
And I've got it. I absolutely, I've got it. But if you imagine, to get this to a sensible price point, it needs to be, it needs some cost reduction.
So if you take the whitewood, and I know you don't want to get the wood finished, but if you take the whitewood, if you stain it up right away, will that... I mean, is it wet wood, or has it already been dried? I guess it's still
dried.
wet.
No, it'll be dried. Yeah, we should be kiln dried.
But why then? It shouldn't blow up and everything, right?
Well, that's the odd thing, because if you remember I was thinking back on one of my plants in glares at the frame, and I was remembering back to the treehouse that I had. It was all softwood and soft wood. And yeah, we had one area of rot where the irrigation got it, but I kept that every year, just gave it another quick coat, which took me half an hour to do.
So I guess if you get...
And it was in really great condition at the end of it all. So I think I'll be all right. And I think he was just trying to upsell me quite nicely there. And boy, I mean, don't get me wrong, Meranti looks pretty solid, to say the least, and it's lovely to work with.
No other options?
But he didn't have an in-between, which is a bit odd. But then again, I'm also thinking of going off the Danube.
Yeah, they do kind of.
Yeah, well, they've got a full lumber yard as well. Yeah, a friend's been there.
Yeah.
So I was going to go and.
And they've moved also. One of their flagship store on Sheikh Zayed has moved down to Barshaway.
Yeah, no, this is their.
You're going out to the warehouse and now close.
Or something.
Supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, so that was kind of the options with that. So I'm thinking potentially there's going to be more than one, but it's how many more than one. And then I went back to the screw shop, the well-known screw shop in Dragonmark, and then just bought. I thought, well, there's going to be more, so let's get 5 kilos of each size of screw. It is it's a lot of screws. And so I've obviously hidden that so that if for any reason she cottons on. The good news is she never listens to this podcast. Yeah. Can you imagine if she did? I'd be divorced.
My wife